Welcome back to the RPG Talk Show. We're going to go into our main topic, which is asynchronous information.
Yes, asynchronous meaning that it is out or not in you have a timeline.
Yeah.
And it goes from earlier to later.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you need to give the information out of order.
Right.
I've seen shows where you literally go backwards in time.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, a good example of an asynchronous timeline is the movie Memento.
Yes.
Yes. Now, there is asynchronous information that way, but there's also, for example, the dynamic between players and game masters, where the game master knows certain information, the players don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also that type of asynchronous information.
I think there's another word for that, but we'll work with asynchronous at this time. Because literally asynchronous means out of time. Mm. Chronos is part of the name.
Yeah.
And A means that it's not synced time.
Right. Not arguing.
Yeah. So, and it's more than just going backwards. Sometimes it's a flashback.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's time travel.
Yes. And time travel, as we've seen with certain movies, can make timelines really, really messy.
Well, in my Tuesday group,
mm-hmm.
not maybe a year from now they'll get to this part, they have some time travel to do. And part of the challenge is that they're allowed to adjust little things.
Yeah.
But they can't adjust big things in the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives them a chance to learn information that they wouldn't normally have been able to get.
Yeah.
And to adjust the time just a little to give them an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But not enough. You cannot go back in time and kill a dictator.
Right. And there are, talking about those type of things, I do believe, at least in terms of fiction, they have been developing certain, design ideas when it comes to time manipulation that I've appreciated. For example, Into the Spider-Verse. They came up with the idea of canon events, where no matter what you do, this event is going to happen. So for Peter Parker, it would be, or at least every Spider-Man, a family member dies.
Yeah. It's not necessarily Ben, but it's almost always Ben.
Right.
The earlier example of that, actually, well, yeah, this would be earlier because even though Spider-Man has been around longer than Doctor Who,
yeah,
its concept of time, it came much later than a show about time travel.
Yeah.
And they call them fixed points in time. This is a moment that you just cannot change.
Yeah.
You go back to try to kill Hitler as a baby, everything in the universe will be thrown at you to prevent you from doing that.
Right.
And you won't be able to change it. While you can change something else and get a butterfly effect, there are certain points in time you can't change anything.
Yeah, and let's use Hitler for example here. Okay, you are a bit of a history buff.
A bit.
Yeah, but I am not ignorant of history either.
Right.
So,
I mean, you know when the War of 1812 occurred.
Isn't it 1812?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job.
So for me, I'm less. Oddly enough, I'm less. I don't remember the dates very well.
Oh, but I suck the dates.
But I do understand the cause and effects and those things fairly well.
Yeah, that is an important thing.
Yeah.
Is what's more important than knowing that the War of 1812 happened in 1812? It's knowing why it happened.
Exactly.
How it resolved.
Yeah.
And what are the consequences today of it?
So let's say we have in a fictional universe, someone goes back and they, World War II did happen, they kill Hitler. Killing Hitler doesn't remove all the pressures and events that caused World War II to be able to happen. It didn't, for example, rewrite the Treaty of Versailles, which had a significant economic strain on Germany.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, World War II, as much as Hitler is involved, is a direct byproduct of World War One.
It definitely is. If there wasn't World War, and this is not a joke,
right?
If there wasn't one, there couldn't be two.
Yeah. Even if we don't call it World War One, if there wasn't the Great War, we wouldn't have had World War Two.
Yeah.
Yeah. The seeds of World War Two were planted at the end of World War One. But well, okay, let's say we want to try and stop World War Two. It's going to have to be more than just removing Hitler.
Because somebody else will pick up that.
Right. The pressures are still there.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have to change how World War One happened. Is there a way that we can stop World War One? Because World War One was inevitable too.
Well, it was pretty dark. I mean, the triggering incident could be stopped, but something else would have triggered.
So with World War One, it was inevitable, not because of the death of Archduke Ferdinand.
Right.
Just like with World War II, all the pressure was still there because we had multiple.
That was a powder keg looking for a light.
Yeah, it was. I would have to say to stop World War II, and I forget her name. There is a specific queen who had a bunch of children, and then did some specific setting up marriages to place those children in positions of power all throughout Europe. So World War One, the Great War, is a family feud.
It is.
It is a family feud.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you on that at all. But as far as in game time, so we have the fixed points in times,
mm-hmm.
and we have the canon events.
Yes.
That they can be altered, but they cannot be removed.
Right.
If you went into the Spider-Verse and you try to remove the inciting action that created Spider-Man,
mm-hmm.
the only thing you could do is stop the spider from biting him.
Yeah.
And Ben dies anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's when you start, messing with time. But in terms of the information, well, as players, there's a couple of things where, let's say you're a game master and you've got a rich world, but
mm-hmm.
I can tell you right now, sitting down your players and giving them a half an hour, presentation on the back history of your world is not a good game.
No. And this is also why scenes that have time travel or flashback scenes allow the characters to play out the event as opposed to listening to a monologue.
Right. And I know that it's frustrating to, at times, get players and their characters invested in the world. But that's one of the reasons why I do like instigating events. For example, throwing all my characters into slavery. Now they're invested in the main plot.
Right.
But having say like, okay, I want your character's backstory. I want your character's backstory. I want your character's backstory. And like the nefarious game masters that we are harvesting possible NPCs of. Okay, you've got a sister. Your sister's in trouble now.
In my Tuesday game, we had the players roll for the relationship with different people.
Mm-hmm.
There's one in specific because this story needs a person that outside of their group that they care about.
Yeah.
Now, this is an artificial way to do it, but it's when you need that relationship at the beginning.
Yeah.
There's like the Wild Beyond the Witchlight.
Yeah.
Everybody got to roll for their encounter with the bear.
Yeah.
Because the story needed you to be invested
in the bear.
In the bear.
Oh, the owlbear.
Yes, it is an owlbear.
Yeah.
The other ways that this asynchronous information works is when you're doing mystery.
Yeah.
And you want to receive clues. One of the Eberron modules, it's an Adventures League module. It has an entire
timeline.
Well, I was going to say campaign. It's an entire campaign of individual modules that make the campaign. It's not just a campaign book. But the first module, you play these pre-generated characters.
Yeah.
And there's a reason you're not being allowed to create your own characters. You must play these particular characters.
Yeah.
And then you recreate a event that happened in the past. And this is literally setting the setting.
Okay.
And then you do this, this prequel module.
Yeah.
And then you start your first level, brand new characters 4 years later, 2 years later. And you're now aware of the first day of mourning.
Yeah.
When that country was destroyed. And then when you meet up with them, you have the backstory already.
And it gets people invested. And this is why it matters how you release the information. It isn't just, as I said, half an hour presentation of this is the backstory. Get them involved in some way or form with the story. Even if it's one of the things I would have loved to see is you've got the day of mourning, and every first level character that you play, tell them, well, you recently played a character. How is this character connected to that one?
Right.
And make those bonds.
One of the other things you do with the backstories and stuff is ask specific questions that are relevant to the story.
Yeah.
Your background class, not background class, your background. Whether you're a farmer or a military person. Actually, in the module I'm doing, is actually going to affect what happens in the story.
Yeah.
For example, if you were a soldier, you might know the NPC because you worked alongside them.
Yeah.
Now, I tell you, when you meet this person, oh, you used to work in their regiment and he was your captain. Then I'm giving you asynchronous information. I've waited until later in the story to tell you about something that happened in your past. And I may ask you to expand upon that.
Yeah.
So you get, you establish a past relationship later in the game. The other parts that we use in there is we're using passions.
Yeah.
What is your character's passions, and how does that tie into your backstory?
Yeah.
I have one character who is a gambling addict.
Yes.
And so they're tying their background and their passions together to explain why they're a gambling addict and why they're going to make certain choices.
Yeah.
I like some of the asynchronous information that we see, especially if it's a mystery. where you have to figure out what happened in the past,
Yeah.
and then you might go back to either describe it or, better yet, maybe have a one shot where they play the villains and the thing and see what happened.
Right. And this is actually getting into, for me, the dynamic of the game master having certain information or not having certain information, and the players not realizing how much information is there. So if, for example, let's call it a murder mystery, right?
Yes.
I know how this murder happened.
I hope so.
Well, I'm going to get into that. Okay, I'm going to get into that. But let's say I have a, murder is set out, right? I know who did it, why it was happened, and everything. But
Yep.
The asynchronous information now comes in. They're trying to discover everything, and I'm not going to give them everything. They look for this information, I give them that information. I don't necessarily give it in context of everything else, although I can.
Right.
And now they have to, it's kind of like me giving you, the puzzle pieces. You don't know how many pieces there are, but you're trying to you're trying to fix the puzzle piece.
Yeah.
You're trying to, figure out what the picture is. And I like that dynamic because I feel some game masters, they just give you everything and expect, there's not much dynamics. Whereas when you've got players who, they know that they don't know everything, they're searching for that information. Mm-hmm. And there's a certain dynamic that happens when, whether I know it or not, I'm not letting them know as a game master whether I'm lying to them or not.
Or, whether that I'm not lying to you, but it's not relevant.
Right. Either that or, actually when I was, when I was running, Here's the Borderlands for you and your wife,
mm-hmm.
You asked, is this character trustworthy? I knew if whether or not they were telling the truth.
Right.
But I had to give you certain information, and based off of the roles, I had to give you misinformation.
Right.
And I had to give it to you in a certain way that it didn't seem like I was lying to you.
Right. One of the ways I like doing that part, this asynchronous knowledge.
Yes.
Is taking the players aside and give them a list of what do you know.
Yeah.
Now, some games I've seen, they have a handout that says what you know. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the group knows that.
Yeah.
But it's even better is each person gets a handout with, let's say, 5 things they know.
Mm-hmm.
1 or 2, and I wouldn't give more than that.
Yeah.
1 or 2 are false.
Okay, this is a thing that I've been doing.
It's the same thing we do with rumors. Mm-hmm. You get true rumors and false rumors, or mostly true, mostly false.
Yeah. There is something that I was doing, and this is in me trying to prep my world for running. So this is some of the things that I do. Where, based off of let's say that I'm making a monster, right? Okay? I've made this monster. Now I need, and this is, by the way, pulling something from 4th edition. If the players want to know any information about the monster, okay, there's basic information and whatnot, but I need to know, well, what are they going to be rolling to figure out this information? And the way I do it is, I'll start from DC 5, and just increase the DCs. So at DC 5, this is really, really common information.
I have definitely seen that where DC 5 gets you this information, DC 10 gets you this information, plus this information. And it cascades up.
But one of the things I've done is, especially at the lower levels, I'll place misinformation in there. Misinformation that is commonly known.
Right.
For example, I would say
trolls turn to stone.
Trolls turn to stone. Make that say DC 10. DC 20 is no, trolls don't turn to stone. It's a specific type.
Right.
Right.
Or that's just a rumor. Right. Why do people still believe this?
Yeah. And by having that be in there, there is built-in misinformation that yeah, you have that information. It's misinformation. You didn't roll high enough. If you had rolled higher, you would have found out no, that you'd realize this is contradictory information. And I feel like that makes things a lot more dynamic because basically I'm advocating for like lying to your players.
Well, I did a panel.
Yeah.
And it was DM
Mm-hmm.
advice, and I had lots of people show up, and I was really glad for that.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things I told them is this: your dungeon master is lying to you. And one person in the audience obviously went, "I told you."
Yeah. This is also one reason like I'm a bit frustrated. I understand why some people, don't want to, GMs fudging dice. But
I rarely fudge dice.
I do fudge dice.
Yeah.
I will outright tell people that I fudge dice. But
I do fudge dice when I want to.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the times, I just let the dice tell the story.
Right. And I respect that. But, I'm going to tell people I fudge dice. If that is the basis that you do not trust me anymore as a game master, then I was working off of shaky foundation to begin with. Right. This is one reason why I advocate for having a healthy relationship between the game master and the players. I want the players to trust me that I will try to deliver the best story that I can for them. If that means I fudge dice, that means I fudge dice.
Yeah. Asynchronous knowledge that I give to players. Mm-hmm. Remember, I gave somebody a list of 5 things. 1 or 2 of them were false.
Yeah.
This person may have some things that are on both. So they both know that Colonel Sanders is the head of Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
This person now has something that's a lie, and this person has the truth on the same topic. Now, how they share that amongst each other, and why, and when they share that information is an interesting dynamic to see.
Right.
Some people like to keep all their cards, but this guy has the truth, and this guy has the false, and neither one knows who has the false.
Yeah.
They can find out that, oh, you got different information. How do we use that? How do we verify that? Is it even important?
See, I feel like lies, that type of contradictory information shouldn't. How should I put it? I wouldn't do that with the non-important information, because that's just sowing confusion for confusion's sake.
Well, if I'm going to get non-important information, I am going to make it true.
Yeah.
It will just automatically be true, but it might be a red herring.
Yeah. Like, I want to, I don't want my misinformation to be there cluttering the place. I want my misinformation to serve a certain purpose. So even in the list of information, for example, with the DCs, when I do misinformation, I'm having it for a specific reason. Either it's explaining cultural, why certain people do things culturally, or someone's lying, or there's a secret there and they're trying to hide that.
Now, sometimes I will give out information that's completely irrelevant to the plot, so that it might send you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the purpose. Also, it just might be world building information. I know that in the city of Sharn, a very popular magic item that people like to buy is tokens of featherfall. Because falling to your death is a big deal in Sharn. So that's a piece of information I put in your list of things that you know.
Yeah.
And it's irrelevant if you don't go to Sharn, but it's relevant so you meet a person from Sharn and you understand how they react to certain things. Like they have one of these tokens on them, and they won't go anywhere without it. Then, or if they don't have the token, they suddenly develop a fear of heights.
Yeah. It isn't just it isn't just them being neurotic.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the story, but it might explain the personality.
Right.
Or it may be important to the story, but in a way that isn't as useful to you.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you that this group all wears a red scarf.
Yeah.
And
you find someone that from that group that's wearing a blue scarf, there needs to be a reason.
There needs to be a reason. I told this to a editor who wanted me to write things about fairy, and he was worried about canon. And I says, you don't have to worry about that.
Right.
All you have to do is worry about your consistency.
Mm-hmm. Internal consistency.
And if I tell you that all brownies wear brown pants, then I have to have a reason if they're wearing green.
Yeah.
It cannot just be this guy is wearing green.
Mm-hmm.
Because the inconsistencies make, what is that? The exception that makes the rule.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to have somebody notice something.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's wearing the wrong color cap. Is he a fake?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a rebel?
Yeah.
Is he colorblind?
Or, hear me out. Let's say that the brownie's wearing red pants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, upon further investigation, oh no, he's bleeding.
Right.
Yeah.
Or some things you have to be consistent with. Red caps, hats have to be red caps.
Yeah.
But what happens if you've seen a red cap with a white hat?
I have an explanation for that.
Oh, I mean, there's an obvious explanation.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear yours.
That is a brand new red cap.
Yes.
That's a brand new red cap. And the reason why red caps have red caps is because they soaked it in blood.
Right. And he hasn't made his first kill yet.
Yeah. Make him a bit anxious. He's looking around. He's not nearly as,
confident as
confident.
the rest.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. You see a red cap with a white hat. That might be scarier than coming across a regular red cap.
No.
Because this guy's desperate.
Hear me out. Hear me out. You come across 5 red caps with white hats.
Black hats?
No, with all of them with white hats.
Oh, that's a murder hobo party.
Yes. Yes.
These are red caps that watch The Purge.
Yeah, they're looking
and
for the first
for
kill.
the bad guys.
They're looking for the first kill.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the other things that I wanted to mention is, especially with the information that the GM does or does not have, this is me getting into the does not have, the players don't necessarily need to know that you don't have the information. So I mentioned the example of I've got a murder mystery, right? And I'm spoon feeding them the information. I'm watching them solve things. Okay, they don't know what the full picture looks like on my side, and I've seen this where they'll realize a plot point, a plot hole that I didn't realize,
and suddenly that's the way it is.
And you know what? Well, I'm not. I could say, oh no, ignore that, and try to push back against that. But that starts to break immersion.
Yeah, it's so much better to say,
sure.
That's, I planned that all along.
Yes.
So, oh, wow, you're clever. Rewrite story.
Exactly.
That's better than what I had.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it.
I've also seen ones where, like, it's there's a riddle, and it's a nonsense riddle.
Mm-hmm.
And there is, on my side, there is no answer. I just want to hear what theirs are.
Yeah, I have definitely had the, that's a better answer than than what I had.
Yeah.
Other ways of you not having the information
Mhm.
is you're letting the players in on the world building.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You walk into a bar.
Mm-hmm.
What's that look like?
Yeah.
What do you see? And then, write those notes so you think it could be consistent.
See, this is I would try to make them make decisions that are more personal to the character. So I'd say, you walk, you guys are in the tavern, okay, and I'll use one of my favorite taverns in the world that I have, which is Barthar's Inn. Okay, you walk into a tavern. It's run by a halfling and his gnome wife.
Okay.
Okay, there's an orc in the back. He's the chef. Okay, it's nice. It's cozy. It's warm. What are you eating?
Yes. That's one.
Yeah.
Another
Tell me what you're eating. And
another way to go
Mhm,
is you just described all those people,
mhm.
and you say, "How do you know the waitress?
Right. Yeah.
And what's her name again?"
Oh, I can tell you I can well, the orc is a new character, but I can tell you the halfling and the wife's name. The wife is the waitress. Her name is Jezebel, and Barthar is the halfling.
Right.
Yeah.
So, in that case, I wouldn't say, "What is the waitress and what's her name?"
Hmm.
I would say, "How do you know Jezebel?"
Right.
And that is, what was it? Dragon Heist,
Hmm.
the first module um, that takes you first to fifth level. You start, and everybody can choose the same person, or everybody can choose different people.
Hmm.
You start with a friend.
Yeah.
That you know that's in that tavern. And those people come in later.
Yeah.
But how you react now to an NPC becomes different
Hmm.
when they're your friend.
Yeah. And you don't. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, that person's my friend. It could be like, yeah, I know Jezebel. That's my ex.
Right.
Right.
Or I know Jezebel. We went to herbalist school together.
Right. Yeah. And I'll know certain things about Jezebel, but now, I'm not going to push back against certain the things unless it really starts breaking the world.
Right. I know Jezebel when we used to fight on dragons and defeated the spaceships. Okay, your back history cannot be more powerful than your character.
Hold on. I like that. I like that. Okay. So, I'm going to say all of that is true. Your childhood friends, that was imagination.
You were playing humans in households.
Exactly. Your childhood friends, and that's what you should play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I've used as a player
Mhm.
was, how do you know this person? Well, I had a crush on them. They never knew.
They never knew.
And the plot twist, the DM can say, "Oh yes, they did."
Uh-huh.
They just didn't acknowledge it.
Yeah. Or he's like, oh, that's interesting. The father got in the way.
Right.
There was an arranged marriage and you didn't realize it.
Or you had an arranged marriage.
Hmm.
How did you get out of it?
How did you get out of that arranged marriage?
Yeah. Or did you get out?
Did you get out of it?
Yeah. Are you now? The player has to think: am I actually married? Am I leaving family behind?
Uh-huh. And this is one of the things, like, I tried doing this with Krita, and, like, I want to try something here, because
Okay.
Krita has a backstory.
Yes.
Okay.
A fairly detailed one.
Right. How much of it do you know?
Not enough.
Not enough.
But I'm also not trying to utilize all of her backstory
Mm-hmm.
against her. I mean, the one time that I really did was putting the spider god on top of the temple.
And watched her. Well, no, the spider god. I don't think I was there for that.
Yeah, you were. This was after you were collected from the Shrine of Choa. And there, you guys passed by a butte that was just there was no landing places for a boat, and you would have had to scale the wall because there were no paths or steps.
Oh yeah, and there's an island. It's like, yeah, there's a spider god there. He's like, no, I'm not. Crita's like, no, I'm not going anywhere near that.
Right.
Screw Lolth.
Yeah. And, it turns out that the spider god is an Aztec spider god and not a
Lothian.
Yeah, because Olmen. Olmen. The natives, the world of Greyhawk has these main gods.
Yes.
But the Olmens have their own. And unless you have contact with the Olmens or their backline, you wouldn't even know about Quetzalcoatl and others.
And Krita understands that. But if we're talking about Lolth here, Krita also knows Lolth and the amount of deception and misinformation that Lolth has. She doesn't trust any spider gods because she thinks that could be Lolth in disguise.
Yeah, you come across Anastasia and you're like, I don't want to hear your story.
Yeah, Anansi? Yeah.
Yeah, Anansi.
Yeah, no. Good story, bro. You're Lolth in disguise. You can't convince me otherwise. But I want to try something here.
Okay.
Ask me one question about Krita's past. I want to see if I can come up with something if I don't already have it.
Okay. I'm sure you have this, but why did you divorce your last husband?
Oh, I didn't divorce him. I had 2 husbands. I murdered one of them.
Why?
Why? Because he murdered the one that I preferred.
Then how did you get married?
So, I got married. Okay, Krita got married. Okay. To both of them because...
Oh, polygamy.
Well, polygamy. Matriarchal society. Lothian drow society. Okay. One of her husbands she preferred, but wasn't very was looked down upon by the family.
Right.
Okay, that was the first husband. The second husband, this is the preferred one that we want. He's very, very charismatic, very silver-tongued, the right bastard. But Krita preferred the first one. Bald guy, had his tongue ripped out. Doesn't talk, only talks with hand sign. He got jealous. And while one day, after years, because Krita had already had a son at this point, he murders the first husband in Krita's bed while they were both sleeping in reverie. Krita wakes up to that, realizes what happened, and is in a full rage, and murders the second one and says, "Screw it with the rest of my family," and leaves. And that's when she goes to start studying as a wizard.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that is a detailed backstory. And you want to be able to have parts of it. So, if this storyline gets anywhere near the Underdark, I mean, you're not gone deep enough to hit Underdark yet.
Oh, right.
But you're actually at the point where if you could go any deeper from where you're at, you would be getting to the Underdark. Yeah,
so we're kind of like in the middle dark. But yeah, so far I feel whenever she's dealt with her backstory, she's been been pretty consistent with that story that I mentioned, where she doesn't have a good relationship with her primary family. The 2 people that she had, she pulled from her family were helpers.
Right.
She had them sneak away because she doesn't like her family. The mummified hand, that's from the first husband.
Right.
Yeah, and because he only spoke with hand sign, that's why she talks it in hand sign.
Got it?
Yeah. It's all been consistent.
Well, and it should be. most people don't write their backstories that
I
well.
understand that. I understand. This is a character from a very long story that I want to develop.
Yeah. Well, and one of your things for the consistency of your characters is you have run this same character through many iterations.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the first
primarily as an NPC, but yeah, many iterations.
Yeah.
Like you were saying?
Well, one of the other things I was thinking about, because we dredged into backstory, when we look at people's backstories where they were more powerful than their current character, you have to, they did super historic. I killed a werewolf, and you just got to first level.
Yeah, that's one thing that I had to learn how to. I had that problem with some of my earlier characters. I've scaled that back.
Right, but there can be explanations for it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the original Thor.
Yeah.
Comics.
Mm-hmm.
He was banned.
Yeah.
Or exiled. He.
It was a lesson by Odin.
Right. All of the iterations say it's a lesson by Odin.
Mm-hmm.
He takes away the hammer,
mm-hmm.
and he has to become worthy again.
Yes.
But there, in the original, he comes crippled,
mm-hmm.
and he needs this walking stick.
Yeah.
But he is dropped down from a god to a first level character.
Yes.
So that backstory can work.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something you have to discuss with the DM and give permission for.
Right.
I used to be a king, but
I'm
in exile.
Yeah, you're in exile.
And if I let other people know I'm the king,
mm-hmm.
I will be assassinated.
Yeah.
What was that one show? It was part of the Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe back in the Silmarillion, or there was a guy who was on Middle Earth who was the true king,
mm-hmm.
but kept it hidden. He abandoned his kingdom or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come up with great stories. One of the hard parts, though, is when you remember you're playing an ensemble,
mm-hmm.
and one person really shouldn't be the main character.
Right.
Well, it looks like we're as far as we can get with this conversation.
Yes.
We're going to come back after these messages
mm-hmm.
with traps and riddles. We're doing Challenge the Champions, and then we'll do an unboxing,
mm-hmm.
and then we'll see you next week.
Yeah. So I feel like the crux of the asymmetrical information and the asymmetrical and asynchronous information is play around with how you're delivering information.
Right.
And don't rely on always having the information, because the players only know what you give them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let them fill in the blanks.
Right. Because sometimes, that's where some of the real magic happens, is when you let them explore the area.
Mm-hmm.
It really is supposed to be a collaborative experience with role-playing games.
It's one of my favorite moments that happens in games,
mm-hmm.
when somebody has an insight.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going with that.
Oh, yeah. And I've seen it where it'll start off in one place, and I'll watch across the table as there's like, oh, we're making an everything stew, and everyone's just throwing information in there. And it's like, oh, I may have just started with the salt, but he brought the peppers, he brought the potatoes, and who brought the corn, but it's in there now.
It's stone soup or button soup.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah, and when a story develops like that, it is so good.
It usually is. It's amazingly good, especially if more than one person is inputting their, oh, that's what that was.
Uh-huh.
No, but it is now.
Yeah. It's kind of like, You guys are going to the warehouse. Is that a lycanthrope? It is now.
Okay.
So, we're going into traps and riddles.
Traps and riddles.
So, after these messages, we'll be right back.